Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. We'll continue with our Board of Supervisors meeting on November 13th for our regular scheduled meeting. And top at our list is a proclamation for National Hospice Month. So, Mary, would you like to read that for us?
Proclamation, National Hospice Month, November 2018. Whereas Hospice of Dubuque, a community nonprofit organization, has been serving the tri-state area for over 35 years and continues to provide exceptional care. And whereas Hospice of Dubuque exists solely to fulfill its mission of providing compassionate care for the terminally ill and their loved ones. And whereas all patient care decisions are guided by this mission. And whereas regardless of the diagnosis, residence, or insurance coverage, all those desiring hospice services and those who meet the admission criteria will receive the care to which they are entitled. And whereas compassionate, we are hospice, a part of the journey of love and letting go, hope and caring. Now, therefore, the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the month of November 2018 as National Hospice Month and urges all citizens to recognize Hospice of Dubuque and the exceptional services they provide to our terminally ill.
Motion to approve the proclamation.
And a second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation for National Hospice Month in Dubuque County. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Would you like to make a comment? Podium is yours. If you just state your name for the record, we'd greatly appreciate it.
My name is LaVon Knoll, and I'm the Executive Director of Hospice of Dubuque. Since 1983, Hospice of Dubuque has served Dubuque County's terminally ill. We are the nonprofit hospice that all of you have come to know and love, and we've been here 35 years providing compassionate care. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I would like to thank the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors for the opportunity to be here today and taking the time to proclaim November as National Hospice Month. This proclamation provides an opportunity to raise awareness regarding the benefits of hospice care. It is so important that people know where to turn in their time of need when they are facing or their loved one is facing life-limiting illness. This year, we are inviting the community to visit our website and Facebook and to read stories from our staff about how Hospice of Dubuque's care has made a difference in people's lives. We're also asking community members who have been helped by Hospice of Dubuque to contact us and share their stories as well. By getting the word out that hospice is about living, we hope to empower those who are in need of our care to reach out to us sooner rather than later so they can experience the compassion, support, and care that allows for living fully and comfortably in the last season of life. We are Hospice of Dubuque. We are passionate about compassionate care. Thank you very much. I also have a little treat this year. I brought our newsletter, and it kind of tells about our stories that we're trying to get out to the public so people recognize it's about living.
Yeah, we would love to have a copy of those.
Thank you.
Be excellent. I'll take those copies. How about we'll take the copies?
Okay.
Thank you for
so
coming.
much. Here you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. There you go.
Well, we have to do pictures, you said. Good, so no. Okay, yes, boom, hit that guy. A little quick time. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that hospice is a wonderful service. Both my grandmothers had the opportunity to work with them, and my grandma June, who was in Georgia, celebrated her 100th birthday in March, and she passed away this month in November and had hospice as her service.
Nice.
So we are glad to have them help. Okay, next on our agenda is approval of minutes of the meeting of October 27th, 2018.
Anybody have anything? Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of October 22nd. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent items, we've got A through G. I'll rattle them off all together. Everybody's good with that? Okay, a lot of manure management plans. So we have an annual manure management plan by Dale Ravis, an annual manure management plan by Knuth Farms, an original manure management plan by AAA Pork LLC, an annual manure management plan by Duschner Dairy, number 63444, an annual manure management plan by Dave Schultz, Southside, an annual manure management plan by Dave Schultz, Home Place, and a Class LC liquor license, Harvey's Airline Inn Limited. Did I get the Schultz or is it Schultz?
Shields.
Shields, I apologize.
Something like that.
If they didn't go to high school with me, I have trouble pronouncing their name.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent items A through G.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve all the consent items. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Consent items are approved. Next, we have procurement procedures. We have a proof of publication for the procurement, 4A, assuming that's in there.
Motion to receive and file and approve the proof of publications.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the proof of publications. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have a receipt of bids for the IT security camera equipment and related hardware. Do we have a bunch of bids or no bids? or- Couple. Mary going to get the bids?
I hope so.
That's, okay. She normally doesn't walk out of our meetings, so I'm assuming that was the case.
I don't think there's any.
I think they were due at 9, weren't they?
They were due like
8:45.
last week.
Oh, Thursday of
Yeah.
last week, okay.
Or Friday last week, something like that.
While we're waiting, I think that Dig Once discussion will be next meeting.
No, not today.
I don't believe so, because
Maybe what you could do is explain the project and the bids that we're gonna be opening.
Certainly. You want me to podium or here?
Whatever, I think you can just make good eye contact with all of the members of the public.
This is for internal security cameras for the courthouse. The old system was long past due to replace. We had only 4 or 5, so this has been working in conjunction with Shane Bockenstead, Darren McCarthy, Systems Administrator for the county. It should be pretty substantial internal coverage for all the public areas. I'm still working with some of the department heads and elected officials for more specific granular of their areas, but this will give really good coverage.
You know
All
that-
6 floors.
Do you know the number of cameras we bid off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no.
No problem.
I think it's upwards of 50 for coverage.
In the bids, okay. That all said, if you guys are ready to open the bids, we'll move to that. How many does it look like we have over there? 8? Okay.
Okay, first bid is from Globalcom, and it is $34,119.00. The second bid is from Howard Technology Solutions, and it is for $37,253.00.
What was the name?
Howard
Howard.
Technology Solutions. The third bid is from Tri-City Electric for $34,096.00.
3496.
$34,096.00.
Nathan, did you spec specific brands or just specifications that they would need to be?
This is 100% apples to apples. This is hardware only. It is the exact number of part numbers, the exact number of quantity. These should be 100% apples to apples. I need to vet them still to make sure they are an Axis reseller in good standing. But no, it's strictly hardware. I want this model, this quantity.
Explains why they're so close. My cheaters?
Yeah, maybe. The fourth one is from CEC, and it is for $36,955.85. The fifth one is from CDWG, and it is for $36,497.19. The sixth one is from Raycom. They are $32,530.10.
That's Raycom out of Marshall City or Marshalltown? Or
I-
our dealer?
I'm not sure, I believe they're in, well, they have a location here. I mean,
Okay.
they're all over, but yeah, they do a
Right. I
lot
didn't
of
know if it
business in
was-
Dubuque County.
Okay.
I don't, Ken Fleege is the local.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering if it was from the local one or the Iowa office sent a bid in.
The seventh one is Comelec for $40,215.00. The eighth one is from IT Savvy for $32,995.54.
All right, is that the last one?
Yep.
Any more discussion?
Your folks are gonna install this all?
Yeah.
Is this where Darren's, expertise will come in?
Yes, he will be doing a lot of evenings and nights.
Job security.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the bulk of these will be doing internal with Darren, so.
Make a motion to refer the bids to our IT director for his review
And recommendation?
and recommendation. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much. 8 bids, that's very competitive. Okay, next on our agenda is a request for quotes for the mower with the rotary cutting head for the Dubuque County Secondary Roads Department. And that will be due on Monday, November 26th at 4 p.m. And they'll be open that same night. So Monday, November 26th at 4 p.m., those requests for quotes are due.
Motion to approve the RFQ?
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the request for quotes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're into public hearings. First public hearing is a notice of public hearing on the proposed vacation of county road right-of-way, 5A. Oops, excuse me. And it looks like we have 3 areas. Is that right, Anthony?
That is correct.
And so Farley Road easement, a portion of John Deere Road, and a portion of Ryan Road. Those are the 3.
Yes.
And that public hearing will be on November 26th. It says at 9 a.m. Is that correct?
No, that should be 5:30.
That's what I thought as well. So the public hearing will be on November 26th at 5:30 in this room. So November 26th at 5:30 on the 4th floor of the Dubuque County Courthouse in this room. We will have a public hearing on those right-of-way issues.
Make a motion to approve and receive and file the notice of public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the notice of public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Our second notice of public hearing is a sale and conveyance of property to the city of Dubuque. Anthony, is this one of yours or not? Okay.
I think this is Eric's.
This is one of Eric's small ones. So it's a real property described as lots 111-3 and 2-1-2-3 of Audubon addition to the city of Dubuque. Any other background we know on this, or is that a small prop? Go ahead.
There are 2 small lots that the city would like access to do water main. So these were forfeited to the county because of a tax situation. And so he had reached out to the city, asked if there were any other properties along with this one. They said no, they just needed these for this project.
So they wouldn't accept any of the other ones that we, that just kind of irks me. I wonder if we should even do this.
Well, that was my first thought as well. I wasn't sure what properties exactly these were. I didn't look up the legal descriptions that were listed. My first take is that this is a convenience sale for the city of Dubuque. We have other properties that also would be convenience sales, and I would like those considered.
Well, and I had asked Eric to specifically ask the city of Dubuque, because there's a multiple other small little parcels that the county has in the city of Dubuque that all it does is complicates things for the county. And if the city wants these properties, I think that they should just take all of the parcels that are, the county have within the city of Dubuque as part of this deal. It's just, they're all yours, and move on, so that we don't have these anymore. I understand the city doesn't want it because they may have to cut grass on some of these, but it makes no sense for the county to have these parcels. So,
I generally agree. So any other discussions, or would you like to table this?
well,
Supervisor Baker, do you want to weigh in, or?
No, I agree. Let's, maybe we need a work session with Eric and someone from the city.
I would just suggest maybe give direction to Eric to touch base with the city again, tell them that there's a possibility that the Board of Supervisors is not going to approve this unless they're willing to have a discussion about accepting these other parcels. That's where I'm at on it.
Yeah.
So we could proceed with the public hearing that's scheduled at 5:30.
Right.
That we could proceed with that, but with the intent that we want a little more discussion and dialogue on the other vacated properties. That's what these typically are, smaller vacated properties that have little or no value. That's why
Right.
nobody buys them.
Because we, over the years, Eric has, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago, made a concerted effort and sent notices out to everybody that adjoined these parcels and asked them if they had any interest in the county would give it to them. All they had to do was pay the recording fees for it. So it was like almost no money to do this. And we got rid of a lot of these parcels, but there's still some left. And obviously, no one has any interest in them because if they're not willing to spend 20 or 40 bucks to get a piece of ground that adjoins them, they don't want it. So we've made the effort to divest the county in these properties already. And these are what's left. So I'm ready to have more discussion with the city on these.
Having the public hearing at that next meeting, does that give us enough time to get Eric and someone from the city in here for a work session prior to that? It's the evening meeting, so if,
We could just do it at the public hearing also.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. We just do the same thing. We'll hope to have those discussions.
We don't have to make a decision at the public hearing either.
And we
Okay,
can present the other parcels that we're
I
talking
guess
about.
what-
Get a map of the other
Yeah.
parcels.
I would like Eric to have a map and a list of all the other parcels that we're discussing here, because maybe it's a lot more than what I think it is. But I think that information wouldn't be bad for us to have that before the next meeting, so we have a look for a little
Yeah.
better.
so if we don't have all the information, we can continue the public hearing to a future meeting. Okay,
And we don't have to act on it.
Yeah,
Either, even if
right.
we can close the public hearing, we still don't have to act on it.
yeah, okay.
That help you clear on that, Dawn, as far as?
So you are going, are we gonna make a motion to approve the notice
I
of
think
the?
most likely, I think what
Okay.
we're trying to do is set up the public hearing, and the information we'd like presented there is the parcels that Dubuque County owns, residing within the city limits of Dubuque, mainly the ones that have been maintenance issues, and I'm sure Chris and Eric and others know about those. And then I would be more interested in the parcels that the city of Dubuque is looking to acquire related to their project.
I'll ask that they have a representative. I've been working with their engineering department, so I will see if they have.
And it's usually not a financial consideration, it's just a maintenance and oversight consideration. And so right now, we've tried to vacate these properties, we've tried to get them in the private hands, and we've done that with a few parcels, but there's a few that just
Well,
are.
we got rid of a bunch of them.
Did we a bunch
Oh,
of them?
yeah, we
Okay,
got rid of a bunch of them.
good, good. So there's a few slivers left that are more maintenance headaches than value, but
Okay, we'll provide that information to you.
I'll
Thank
make a
you.
motion to approve the notice of public hearing.
Second?
we have a motion and a second to approve the notice of public hearing for the November 26, 5:30 meeting. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next on our agenda is approval of plats, but I don't believe there's any. Okay, so we have action items. First action item is a resolution, the appointments of deputies, assistants, and clerks. And it looks like we have, was it 7 or 8 Sunnycrest positions and an auditor position as well. Probably the one of most note would be the auditor, which is a permanent full-time accounting and tax manager position. That was an increase in that position to try to get a little more competency.
That is correct. Auditor Dolan had come in and spoken with you during a work session on this, of taking a currently vacant position and elevating it to a manager. We were asking for some more accounting background. We did obtain a CPA through Ms. Bonnert. She's also done our audit in the past. She has worked for our auditor, so she brings that experience with her. This was all in preparation of Auditor Dolan not running again and making sure that that finance background is in place for the new auditor, because we're never sure what their finance background would be. So it's really preparing for succession in that department.
Budget-wise, how are we looking on this? That was my assumption. I just wanted to,
So even starting now, we'd have enough for this fiscal year, and then the full salary would roll into next fiscal year and be budgeted for. Okay, looks like
I'll make a-
Megan's on the list.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approve the tax abatement from the treasurer's records. And so these will abatements from the 2017 tax records, and there's a bunch of numbers in there, so I won't read them all.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approving the 2018 Weed Commissioners Report. That is a thing.
I think that's
Is this you or?
Nate. Nate?
This is Brian,
Brian, okay.
or maybe his assistant.
That's
Nate,
Nate,
yeah.
okay.
I thought maybe,
It's not a well-known thing.
I thought at first
Nate
maybe,
Sisler. Yep.
maybe we inadvertently got a memo from Colorado or something, but,
This weed
Just
costs us money, doesn't raise money, but.
Actually, I was a weed commissioner in Delaware County, so you have to turn this in once a year, and just, it's a report to acknowledge what issues you have out there for noxious weeds, what you've done to combat it, what chemicals you've used, just some general knowledge like that. You have to turn it into the state, I think by December 1st.
it lists, I went through and it lists the amount of pesticides that we applied and all that, so. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution for the Weed Commissioners Report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approving the chairperson to sign a letter of support for the certificate of need for Hills and Dales.
Jody talked to me about this, and she is in favor of doing this. And I guess as being on the Mental Health Regional Board, I would support it also.
Yeah, I'll read it. It's pretty short. Dubuque County Supervisor supports a request by Hills and Dales to provide a five-person home in Dubuque County community for individuals on the HCBS waiver. The home is located in an area that does not have 24-hour supported community living locations and is in a typical neighborhood. Hills and Dales will be offering HCBS to persons who have autism and present challenging behaviors. This service, an exception to the policy, will meet an unmet need for individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism requiring 24-hour support.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. The next resolution is to approve the necessary documents with Turpin Dodge of Dubuque for the purchase of two 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 quad cab 4x4 pickup trucks for Dubuque County Secondary Road Department. So it looks like the $28,090 each, and those were the low bids.
Yes, and we did compare that to the state bids, and they're within about $1,000 of each other, so we felt that it'd be best to go with the local bid.
And it looks like with the additions of some of the items, the total is $57,070.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approve necessary documents with Martin Equipment for the purchase of one 2013 John Deere 2020D wheel excavator.
Okay, what we're trying to get going here is a second ditch cleaning crew / pipe replacement crew within the county. And our current wheel excavator has some frame cracks. It's just not in good shape at all. So we got a hold of Martin and actually started talking, and they have something from their rental store that was available to test out. Pretty low hours, I think it's 849 hours. So it's a used piece of equipment, but in really good shape. I know the guys really liked what they saw of it, and they tested it out on a couple different projects. So this is a recommendation to purchase this out of our current equipment budget.
Something that was budgeted or not budgeted?
This was actually not budgeted, but it still fits within our budget number we have. So we're just gonna shift something else that we were gonna replace and go with
This will give us 2 good wheel excavators?
Yes.
So we're getting rid of the old.
Right now, well, they were only gonna give us 8,000 for our old one, so we wanna hang on to that just for a little bit.
Okay, for $8,000, yeah.
What's the trade-in then? It does reference a trade-in number. And so the quote is 158, and then the bottom number, it says less trade-in is 138,625. That. I thought it was fine with the numbers until you said you were not trading in something in.
Yeah, we're,
It's showing a John Deere 595.
Is that a typo? Is the 3 supposed to be a 5? I bet it's a typo. And if there's no trade-in, then the bottom number should
oh,
equal
I'm
the
sorry,
top number.
I'm sorry, yeah, I confused this. So we are trading in this, the old, wheel excavator. I was thinking about the backhoe.
Okay,
The backhoe trade, we're keeping that one.
okay, so the trade-in in the second paragraph of 20,000 makes the math
Yes,
right.
that's
So,
correct.
so we are trading in this 60-inch CF bucket with flared teeth.
Are we trading in the one
less-
with the
less
cracked
trade.
frame?
So, that would be this unit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
we're trading that one in, yeah.
Okay, we all on the same page now?
Yep.
All
So we
good?
will just have 2 wheeled excavators? then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Resolution is approved. The next resolution is approve the necessary documents with Martin Equipment for the purchase of one 2019 John Deere 410 LXT backhoe loader.
Okay, so this is the one that, we have an existing backhoe, that they were gonna give us $8,000. Sorry for that, and we just felt it was just too low of a number. It's still an operable machine, but, so we wanna keep it, but it's definitely on its last legs. So this would be a new machine. The reason why we're not taking quotes on this is this is straight from the state bid pricing that they have available. Again, they're telling us whether it's a scare tactic or not, you know, the tariffs are gonna start raising prices on these machines, and so, this fits within our budget right now. Also comes with a, thumb to be on the machine, so we can use it for picking up, debris out on you know, when we have storm, events or whatever, and also use this on, pipe replacement projects.
And there's no trade-in on this one.
No,
I've got to ask, on their quotation, it says the list price of this is $204,000, and the sale price, or what we're purchasing it for, is $105,000.
That's
Is that accurate? You think that's accurate?
well, they're gonna give you the high retail price
That's pretty,
to sell to a contractor, and then they have all their discounts to, you know, government entities. So it obviously looks pretty good, but,
feeling wonderful.
yeah. I'm sure they're still making money on this.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
we have a motion and second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Resolution is approved. The next resolution is to approve the federal aid swap funding agreement for the project of SE-31 bridge replacement on Christoph Road.
Okay, this agreement should have actually been approved several weeks ago, but for some reason it was lost in the mail, and we never got it in time to be on the last meeting. So the final plans you guys actually approved already, but this would be the actual swap agreement to take on the state's primary dollars and swap for our federal aid dollars, or our bridge replacement federal aid dollars. So this is for the bridge replacement on Christoph Road.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. The resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approve the federal aid swap funding for FG-31 HMA resurfacing on Ridge Road.
Okay, later on in the agenda, you will entertain the final plans for this project, and this would be the swap agreement for that project. This would be Ridge Road from Tollgate Road to Sherrill Road there. Pretty much same thing, you know, just 100% swap of the primary dollars for the county's federal aid dollars.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approve the federal aid swap funding agreement for FG-31 HMA resurfacing on Tollgate Road.
Same thing on Tollgate Road from Highway 52 up to the Clayton County line. This would be for the road project for next year. 100% swap for the state's primary dollars.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approve the final progress voucher for the bridge replacement on Bud Road.
Okay, we have been through our federal aid audit on this project. This is one of our last federal aid projects, hopefully, for quite some time with the swap taking place. So this project, we had to go through an extensive audit with the DOT. Everything checked out with all of our quantities, and now this is the final voucher to have you guys sign off on and release back to the DOT for final payment to the contractor.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution approving the 2080 sharing agreement with Delaware County for the assistant to the county engineer services.
Okay,
Has any-
this snuck up about a week or so ago and realized, oh, this is coming up pretty
Yeah.
fast.
Anything changed?
Nothing changed in there except for dates.
Can you just generally give us an overview of the contract?
Yes, so this is a contract for Craig Davis, assistant to the engineer over there in Delaware County, to share with Dubuque County his services for design and inspection. Delaware County funds 60% of Craig's salary, with Dubuque County reimbursing for 40% of that salary.
What about benefits?
It's all included.
It's all included.
Yeah, I thought.
Yep, sorry,
Same
salary
percentage, is it?
benefits, I should say. You're right. Yeah, it looks like it's a 2-year agreement. I know it spells out we're supposed to meet on a quarterly basis. I know we talked about doing every 6-month basis, and I think it's gotten away from us a little bit on that as well, but that's the only thing, I guess, that it's different, that we haven't done.
Do you have a recommendation?
I would recommend this.
Craig's main function related to our work, how would you describe that?
He's our main bridge drafter, bridge design drafter. So pretty much every set of bridge plans that you see come through you is produced by Craig. He also does bridge inspections for us as well. So he does Delaware and Dubuque County inspections. Very valuable employee for Dubuque County.
Didn't we just send 2 guys for bridge inspection school?
So they're gonna go in December.
Oh, they're going. Okay,
Russell
I thought we
Kurt.
approved it, yeah, okay.
Yep. So the idea is to start training them.
Right.
And getting them up to speed, once, Craig looks at retiring someday, there'll be a succession plan there.
Is he also training some of our guys on the bridge design portion of it also, to where they'll be able to start doing that under his supervision, to where we, spread that out over and get the succession planning there
Yeah.
too?
And actually, Craig and I are both doing that. I've got a bridge designated for Russell and one designated for Kurt this
Okay,
winter. But they're
good.
gonna start walking through the process from A to Z, and this is how you do it.
Good.
We go.
And Craig's background is he's been a bridge contractor, so he knows bridges from the bottom up, right? I mean,
Yeah, he loves bridges. He built bridges for probably 20, 25 years. Knows the ins and outs, the corners that contractors trying to cut, and yeah, he's a valuable person to have around.
Excellent, thank you.
The only question before we do a motion is, I think we need to approve this, but I do think we should have a meeting. I agree the quarterly meetings aren't necessary. I think this is working.
Annual probably would be sufficient.
Yeah.
Thing is, we see these folks so often
Yeah,
that
The RTA.
that's kind of, I think why this hasn't
Yeah.
happened, is that every month we see them at RTA and then whoever's gonna be on RPAs, well, not RPA, they'll be with them also. So I think the opportunity to voice any concerns from either side is always there. But I would think a formal annual meeting probably wouldn't be a bad idea, just for perception, if nothing else.
I agree.
We plan on that in first half or first quarter of the year.
Okay.
January, February, March.
In relation to these two agreements that hopefully you guys are going to approve, if I could get those signed today and take those back to the Delaware meeting this afternoon, then we can get everything signed all in the same day and get
I'll
this.
make a motion to approve to help move things along.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the sharing agreement with Delaware County for the assistant to the county engineer services. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Right after that is the resolution to approve the 2080 sharing agreement with Delaware County for the county engineer services. You want to explain your role and the percentage differences?
Yes, sir. So, percentage, there's a little bit difference in percentages. Right now, it's supposed to be 70% Dubuque County, 30% Delaware County. I would say those percentages are probably more like 60-40, maybe 50-50 at times. So, that'd be the one thing that you could address, maybe even at a future meeting, a future quarterly meeting, to talk about how the salary is shared. You know, I would definitely say I'm a little more shared with Delaware County than just 30%. It just takes a little more time to do both counties, but I try to be in Dubuque County at least 3 days a week. And I'm obviously doing stuff after hours at home or whenever it's needed. So it's, but same agreement as what we've had, 70-30, be it for a 2-year agreement, and then also quarterly meetings.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your assessment on kind of time allocations related to percentages. I'm comfortable and have heard good responses from both Delaware County and Dubuque County elected officials and citizens.
From my perspective, I too am comfortable with it. Maybe my suggestion would be let's do this 2-year agreement, talk at your meetings coming up and discuss that, and then maybe the next one, if everyone thinks that it's equitable to change that percentage a little bit, that's probably when I would look at doing it. I just think this thing is working way too well to even throw a little bitty wrench in the works at this point. I don't think that Delaware County would have a huge issue with it, but this has worked out extremely well for both counties. $5,000 or $10,000 here or there, not going to bother me at all.
I mean, I think the economies and the geography of Dubuque and Delaware County are mixed, and it's good. So
Well, maybe at the next, if we have a meeting in the next quarter, I could try to put together a report on Craig's time and my time proportioned, and you can kind of see the exact percentages on.
So that was a big deal with Shirley going into this. So, really, she was the one that was gung-ho about keeping track of your time and yours and Craig's time, thinking that maybe Dubuque was going to swallow you two up. And I know without any doubt that she is extremely pleased with the way things are going. So I wouldn't think it would be inappropriate to do that in any way, shape, or form, but.
I think the relationship that we've established with the Delaware County Supervisors couldn't be any better. I think all of them are, good people willing to listen, and I hope they feel that way about us.
I think in addition to this agreement, the people part is very important, but continue to let us know what tools and services and other things you need. And so I know, having the availability now at your desktop in Delaware County and Manchester and seeing all of our roads, and if you get calls, should make you more efficient in the future as well. So if there's additional services or other things we can need to automate the process, the board would be open to it.
At this point, I really enjoy the process. I know Craig does too. And we obviously have great staff on both sides, so that's what makes it work as well. But it's fun. It's been a lot of fun, so I'd like to see it continue going.
You guys make
Bless you.
us look good. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries, resolution is approved. The next resolution is a resolution to approve the revised 2080 agreement with the City of Dubuque for winter maintenance operations on various roadways.
Okay, John Klosterman brought this to my attention, and it was really nothing changed on the agreement, but it was just an outdated agreement, and some dates need to be changed on it. So really nothing has changed as to who's maintaining what from the city or the county.
Do you think it's fairly equitable? We take care of about the same amount of miles that they take care of for us?
Yes.
So, yeah, there's what, 4 roadways listed for us to do and 8 for them?
Yeah, they actually do a little more, so it's not much of a burden on us. We're already, the roads that they're designated for Dubuque County, we're already there anyways.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approve the snow and ice removal 28 agreement with the city of Balltown for this winter. And that is for $880.
And this is based on a rate that we've come up with for $2,000 per mile. That's we've been trying to capture the last couple of years' actual cost. And that 2,000, it seems to be a really good number. That's a good average. So we're continuing to monitor that over, as time goes on. But we're using that as a value to apply towards all these cities.
And this is just for Balltown Road?
Yes.
Most likely, okay.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approve the snow and ice agreement, 28E agreement with the city of Durango. And the Durango one is for $300. Yeah, the only thing I would recommend for next year for the future resolution is just list the name of the road that you're covering.
Yeah, because Balltown's actually 2 roads, right?
Is it that goes
Horseshoe
through?
Hill and Horseshoe Hills has a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Makes it cleaner for if anyone ever looks back,
James Road.
but I think they're perfect cooperative agreements. It's exactly what we should be doing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approve the snow and ice agreement with the city of Rickardsville for this winter. And that one is 2 roads for $3,345.
Well, and actually, if you look in the actual document under payment
For Rickardsville?
for Rickardsville,
Okay.
you'll see the paved miles on St. Joseph's Drive, James Road, Hilltop Court,
I
Five
do.
Points Road, and South Mountain Road. So the mileages, or the actual roads, what we're doing is listed out in there.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution to approve the snow and ice removal 2080 agreement with the city of Sherrill
This will be on Balltown Road, Circle Ridge Road, Sherrill Road, and South Mountain Road.
for $2,300.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have the resolution next for approve the plans and specifications for the HMA resurfacing with culvert replacements on Ridge Road.
Okay, this will be for our paving project next year. This will be a DOT letting set for February 19th, 2019, from Ridge Road to, from Tollgate Road to North Buena Vista Road. This also includes replacement of a few culverts on the project and then HMA resurfacing of the road.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is approve the plans and specifications for the HMA resurfacing with culvert replacements on Tollgate Road.
Okay, this will be Tollgate Road from Highway 52 up to the Clayton County line. HMA resurfacing with quite a few culverts being replaced. Also, February 19th, 2019 letting date. One item to note is that the DOT is making us come up with separate plans because there's 2 separate roads, but we're actually going to tie the 2 together under the same proposal. So it'll be one bid for these.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have a resolution approving a change order number 1 for the West Campus bid package, number 1 grading and salt bunkers project from Top Grade. Can you explain?
I'll try to get through this, yeah. So we had a few additions to the project. We had to add some sub-drain trenching because the site was so flat. We had to be able to drain it out in certain areas. We also added some polymer grid reinforcing for the concrete. So it's a material that reinforces the sub-base, and added some choke stone base as well. We actually ended up taking away polymer grid quantity from phase 2, so it actually, we added one here and reduced one here. We also had some extra undercut needed. We had some soft areas that needed to be undercut and stabilized with rock. So we had some stabilization and some extra stockpile mulching we had to do. So those were the additions. The decreases were, we had some extra concrete that we did not end up placing because of the water line, how the water line had to be trenched in for the phase 2 project. We decided to leave a section of that off. There was some engineering fabric we did not use. Also, quite a bit of stabilization rock that we did not have to use out there, along with silt fence and sediment control, what they call wattles or erosion control items. So in effect, we have a net decrease on the project. So we're under budget on phase 1, and so this is
And that total is $65,890?
yes. So the total change is actually $17,383 under the contingency budget. So if you look at the next page, the original contract sum was for $1,538,472. And that includes the contingency of $30,000.
I don't think we have that in our packet.
You don't have the AIA document?
Do we have it, or maybe
Yeah, we do.
Okay, it's ahead, not the, okay. I was looking at
So
the summary.
the $30,000
All right.
contingency that was used?
Yes, we had to eat into some of that.
Okay.
Yep.
So could you restate the totals again for me and where we ended up?
So the total contract amount with, with contingency built into it was $5,538,472. And then with the additions and decreases that we had, it ended up being a decrease of $17,383.14 off of the total contract sum, which brings it to $1,521,088.86.
So if we use the entire $30,000 contingency, weren't there any change orders associated with that, or how does that work?
So when we add new items, that's when we have to do an actual change order. Some of these items were actually, we're actually using existing bid items out on there. So we just went over on some items, but under on other ones. The way FEH explains it is that if we have new items, that we have to actually do a change order on those because we have to add them into the contract because they were never bid on. So for instance, we have the subdrain trenching and some polymer grid as well.
So if the estimate is off or something along those lines, say like on the phase 2 portion, which is a lot bigger contract, and we have a lot bigger contingency built in for that one. So if we're off $50,000 on something, that doesn't have to come back to the board for approval. Just go ahead and do it if it's an item that's already on the, I don't like that.
That's the way it's set up now. Mm-hmm.
And that's why the contingency fund is there. So if you would eliminate that contingency fund, then you would force to go through and.
Well, even though the contingency is there, I just feel that the board should have a little more awareness of big changes that are, hopefully unforeseen. Hopefully somebody just didn't screw up. But I would like to think that we would have more information about things along those lines. Because I know with the footings on the office, you talked to us about that, I think, individually, but at least you brought us up to speed that there were some changes that needed to be made. And that is what I would hope would be the minimum that would continue to happen moving forward, because anytime there's a big change in something, and I don't know what constitutes a big change. I guess it's probably individual perception, but to just have that, is it like $300,000 contingency on the?
Yes.
I just don't think that contractors should have free reign at that $300,000, just whenever they think they need to make a change or something like that, they go ahead and do it without any.
They can't just do it. They have to get approval through our office and FEH. So if there's anything that's proposed, we have to approve it on the ground there. So for instance, yeah, what happened with the footings there, they ran into some poor soils, and we had to do some stabilization with the lean concrete out there. That was a decision we had to make on ground. So do we either make that one, change order number one and not use the contingency? Or do we apply that towards the contingency? And then eventually it'll become a change order once the project is done. Because all this has to be added up.
Yeah, and the process we went through in that specific, I liked. You called us, and we, I think, decided that to use a contingency, because that's what a contingency is for unforeseen issues. But I'm asking you, or at least from my perspective, which isn't gonna make any difference in a little bit, that you continue to make sure you continue that, to keep the board informed when there's a big change on something. I don't know, 20,000, 30,000, I don't know what the number is. You have to ask these folks what they think their comfort level is, but I don't think that we should just have $300,000 out there to be used without oversight of the board. That's my thoughts on it, and I don't know where you guys are at.
I generally concur.
I mean, obviously, I think, I don't want it to get to the point of the board
Every $5, yeah.
micromanaging,
No, yeah.
okay? But I don't disagree that if there's a significant change, that we would be made aware of it. But on the other hand, we have to put our trust in the experts that we've hired and that work for us, to monitor this. And I can't imagine there not being scrutiny as you've described, Anthony, with this and other projects.
Yeah, we're watching this like a hawk, want to make sure that they're doing everything according to plan and not exceeding any of the bid items that we have.
And it helps that you're there every day.
Absolutely.
Because that's, your office is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the future we could look at a dollar amount, so maybe between Dawn and Anthony, the two different facilities and engineering, a recommendation to what that whole dollar amount is. I don't know if a percentage would make sense, but a whole dollar amount of change that would come back to the board for communication.
Yeah, if you'd like, maybe every work session or every other work session, we can give you an update of where you're at with contingency, of what's been used at this point.
That would probably be very helpful, I would think.
And are you continue to have work site meetings, job meetings? How often are you having those?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. And perhaps that's, maybe an opportunity for one of the board members to poke their head in, keep our head in the tent on
So
that.
there would be a meeting next Tuesday at 9 a.m., I believe it is. I can send that invite out to you guys, let you see that.
All right. I will,
We're in
if there's no
resolution
more
U.
discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved for the change order number one. Next resolution is approved and authorizing the chairperson to sign the courthouse re-roof project certificate of completion. Dawn, are you able to comment on this?
They are actually done. They had to do a few of debris pickup just recently, but they are done with the project.
And I take it Chris and FEH are satisfied with the end results.
Yes, absolutely. FEH has signed off on it, as well as Clower of the certificate of substantial completion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. The next resolution to approve the necessary documents with Clower Construction Company for the construction of the courthouse juvenile courtroom for $9,953. So this is the courthouse. We're all good.
Yep, this
Juvenile
is
courtroom.
phase one of moving the juvenile courtroom.
Second floor, right?
Yep, the second floor.
Okay.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. And our final resolution is approve the final progress voucher for the HMA resurfacing on Clay Hill Road.
Okay, this would be for our paving project on Clay Hill Road from last year. We are finally complete with our federal aid audit with the DOT, and everything checked out fine. So this would be the final voucher to be paid out to the contractor.
Did they set a date for shutting the plant down, or is that,
Yeah, usually Thanksgiving.
okay?
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution is approved. We have communications. I'm not seeing any proof of publications on zoning. Is that correct? Okay, so the next communication is a letter from the City of Dubuque regarding A.Y. McDonald Manufacturing Property Tax Appeals. Sent to all the people that collect property tax, school board, us.
So has this been settled, and this is just the results of it?
Yes, it's notification to us of what the agreement was between, or through all of the appeals. There were 2 appeals with this, so this is a settlement announcement.
So we're not looking for action. This is a receive and file. I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the communication from the City of Dubuque. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 8C, we have a letter from the City of Dubuque regarding a public hearing notice for the amendment and restatement of Prue Road Urban Renewal Area. And that,
So this is
Public.
Flex Steel.
did I mix something? I miss one?
No.
Oh, Prue Road, okay. And the public hearing has been set for December 3rd at the City Council Chambers. And so that's in the Federal Building, Historic Federal Building, at 6 p.m. So December 3rd at 6 p.m. related to this urban renewal plan on Prue Road, which is the Flexdale property. Is that what
Right.
you're mentioning?
That's right.
And so
To receive and file.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second to receive and file. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. No appointments at this point. We'll move through those. And it looks like 10A, we have a personnel for a permanent full-time maintenance person at the sheriff's office. And
Yeah.
sure, come on up, Sheriff Kennedy, if
It
you
doesn't
wanna.
mention a name. It says it's going from part-time to full-time.
It was the one that we discussed. You approved it to be effective the 1st of January. And so we discussed with Dawn how she wanted to handle that, if we were just able to transfer that position directly into a full-time position. She said we would need you guys to approve it, and it would just be open in-house, and then we could just do the transfer that way. But this is,
Transition for retirement, correct?
This is for
this
Steve's,
is partial-
for the maintenance
for the
side,
maintenance
right?
portion
Yeah.
of Steve's, yeah.
For his pending retirement, is that correct? Okay.
But also, it's like a, training in progress.
Yes, we
Knowledge transfer.
started sending our current part-timer to some schools and things that he needed to cover the maintenance portion of
Right.
what Steve does, so.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the personnel requisition.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the personnel requisition. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Requisition is approved. Do we have any table or pending items, Mary? No? Okay. So public comments. At this time, anyone may address the board on matters which they are concerned to that person and which are not on agenda items. Please go to the podium, state your name and home address, make your comments. However, no formal action on your comments may be taken at this time because of the notice requirements. Welcome.
Thank you. State Representative Chuck Eisenhart, 1665 Kaufman Avenue. I expect this is the time of the year that we'll start having some discussions about legislative priorities. I presume that we'll have an opportunity to sit down with you in a more formal setting once you've had a chance to talk about that. And now that the election's over, on our side as state legislators, at least, we can start assessing what the future's gonna look like in Des Moines and elsewhere. There's one item on your agenda today that I don't know whether or not it's relevant to one of my priorities. So I just thought I'd stand up here and bring it to your attention, and you can deal with it as you wish going forward. Over the last several years, I've tried to make these kind of conversations a two-way street. Sometimes as legislators, we have priorities of our own that are relevant to local government, city, county, school district, et cetera. I've served on the Environmental Protection Committee as ranking member now for several years. And one of the things that I've been looking at in terms of getting communities more engaged in particularly soil health and water quality is what can local governments do in terms of their own management of public grounds. And it came to my attention last year that the city of Dubuque had a number of parcels that it was leasing out on an annual basis, agricultural land for farmland for agricultural production. So had some conversations with them about strengthening some of the conservation provisions in their leases. I don't know whether or how much county property there might be that you have. I noticed that you're talking about leases here later today. This may not be relevant to that, but now since we're looking at the next growing season, if there's an opportunity to look at your own properties and how they are being managed or handled, whether directly by you or a land annual lease to a farmer for production, I'm encouraging the local governments to look at how they're handling conservation issues related to management practices, water quality, soil erosion, et cetera. Because I think we need our local governments to be good stewards, obviously, but also really take the lead in demonstrating to other farmland owners in the area and really be model stewards of that land. So I just wanted to get that on your radar screen, maybe opportunities for further discussion or communication. I have talked to Eric Schmeckel and folks at the Soil and Water Conservation District and asked them if they would be prepared to come in and advise the city and county with regard to what kind of features they could put in their leases that would maybe strengthen what you're doing in that area. I think they'd be open and willing to assist.
Excellent.
That's what I have for you today.
Regarding the priorities, legislative priorities, I attended the Urban County Coalition meeting Friday, and I do have an update, and I've asked Dawn to put that on as a work session for our next meeting to discuss that, and I'll plan on getting copies of that out to Daryl and Jay and Dawn, have that available at the next meeting. And then I assume after we talk about the priorities that we would want to get our legislators in before they traipse off to Des Moines. So.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments for Representative Eisenhart? All right. Thank you very much.
Morning.
Morning.
Catherine Caitlin, 6552 Mitchell Mill Road, Lamont, Iowa. I'm just here to briefly ask you to be sure, I know it's on the agenda to address this, but the ATV, UTV working group, there's a question as to whether or not those meetings are open or not. We did have our first meeting. Our second one is Thursday. Mr. Baker was at the first meeting, and at the very beginning, we questioned whether it was open or closed. And I did send you an email, but I just wanted to come and if you had questions for me, or just address it and ask for some direction before our Thursday meeting, because I'm not sure how appropriate it is to have it be open. My understanding when I signed up for it was that it would be closed. And I think the group kind of agreed at the beginning that it's easier if it's closed, that we can be more open and honest with each other. I was uncomfortable as well when I talked to Dave afterwards with the amount of input that he was providing. The group pretty much agreed that economically, the impacts, we probably can't prove it. And that I think we would have probably gone forward on that, except that Dave interjected and talked about he wanted that and that there was a story he told us about that. So I don't know, I just feel like at some point it was getting very blurry as to what the meeting was about. And afterwards, when I talked to Dave, he said he was there as a private citizen, and I don't think he can be, but I just wanted to ask for some direction for sure today from the board as to what we're supposed to be doing in terms of an open or closed meeting, and the appropriateness of whether or not you're all gonna come, if nobody's gonna come, or what's gonna happen in that space. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And so that is our next item
Okay.
on our agenda at 10 o'clock, which we'll probably get to in a few
11
minutes here. So I'm glad you
All
brought that up because it's perfect timing and
All right.
we've got that noted and we can address that in further detail.
All right, thank
Any
you.
other questions for Caitlin?
Yeah, we'll wait until the work session and we can have a discussion on it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are in public comments. Any additional public comments? That's good, too. We usually don't get to.
Need a
Motion to recess for 5?
Yeah.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second to recess for 5 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are in recess. Thank you much.